Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's David Palmer, the Leo King, and I just thought I'd make a short video about the state of affairs right now when it comes to speaking truth. I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty surprised, and I don't know how to really put the surprise, whether it's the surprise of what we're seeing in taking truth and really trying to push questions that are really common sense in the world today. And especially as being an astrologer, you'd think, well, yeah, especially in 2021, I mean, with all the events that have happened in the world, one, it's a good time to question things because, we can't just get our information from one source as the end all be all. And you'd think that astrology would be a great place at least to go, but of course, I sometimes forget the stigma around astrology and, the science world today and what only science has to offer, which, of course, using history and using ancient history, divine science has been around longer than the science we use today and has got us through a lot of the situations and has empowered and inspired people to really step into truth more and have liberty. I'm recording this, of course, on July 4th. And I've been seeing weird things on my Instagram of where I didn't show up for it this weekend because I felt like representing July 4th about honoring liberty and honoring integrity of freedom was important. That I wasn't going to put something on the platform on the day that is not letting people mention me in stories and so forth. And of course, addressing some of the issues with the book of the face, and asking people if they feel like they're, extremist. I don't, about what? Like, you can be extreme in love with dogs and have a dog channel. So this is, of course, something that astrologically, a lot of astrologers, including myself, have definitely put out information about, trying to take away the voice of people and make people voiceless. But I just want to remind people that you're not voiceless no matter what. If I lose my platforms, I built my own platform, so I'm lucky with that. But even if I didn't, there's always a route, there's always a way. And I think that we can't be in fear right now, and we can't be in a space where we're afraid of losing our platforms or losing our channels. One solution, of course, is all of us to get together one day and build the platform for everybody to be on. But of course, we have to live in this collective world and energy, and at the same time, we also have to maintain our own boundaries of what's sovereign to us as human beings and the rights that are given to us as human beings and people. And it's a tricky time. It's definitely an emotional rabbit hole that you can get down about the frustration about how could we have got here as society. But I feel like everything happens for a reason. And I feel like even though it's really crappy and I'm not supporting anything that takes away people's liberty and takes away people's voice, sometimes these things happen in order for a course correction in life and for people to also wake up. And I feel like God is waking us up in the biggest ways right now for those that are willing to see that. And I'm just doing this message to remind people to never be afraid. And so, of course, I made a Telegram. Ironically enough, I looked it up, the group, December 21st of 2020, and I posted a little bit, and then I stopped posting on there, and then I went back over the last 3 days, and it's been liberating for me, finding just another platform, and even if that one's taken down, whatever. It's just like, I'm just bringing truth and questions and using history and astrology. And I'm somebody who makes predictions about things. It's not like, as an astrologer, it's like, we're just really just trying to help people just understand for their own sake of whatever choice they want to make and the liberty that they have by giving them some sort of comfort or information from one part of this multi-universe we live in that's looking at the multiverse and is actually using the ancient skills and techniques that have been reliably used for thousands of years. But I still, as an astrologer, would never force anybody to follow my guidance or follow the astrology guidance of other astrologers if it wasn't your thing. And it, like, that's how you know in yourself when you're like, wow, like when people start saying you must listen to this is what is only truth. And especially when you're not allowed to question it. And now, you know, you start to get to weird places where you bring something up and it's doesn't even have an answer. We're looking for the answer. And if that's a problem, that's when we have the biggest problem, right? We should be always able in life and as a society, especially in a social society that we live in, to be able to ask questions about things to get answers. And we're not allowed to do that right now. And we're all, especially in this community of spirituality and truth movement, truly getting, whether you want to call it, we're getting shadowed out or we're getting pushed away or we're not being able to be seen or we're being labeled now as, you know, extremists. I think it's an important time for us to ask the question, well, what is the definition of an extremist and what is it really about and what is it connected to? It's like the same way that you can't like create a subject with a narrative of is that where this is going? Yet that is what exactly these platforms are doing. So it's one of those things to where, you know, you can't be scared. You got to laugh. You got to know that spirit and the divine has our backs. In my case, I'm just here today to remind you to not be afraid. In my Telegram, I just did this weird just dump of like some old media of mine where when I came out as an astrologer in reality television, I just got made fun of so extreme. It was not popular. It was way before CoStar. Believe it or not, I had an app out about astrology in 2014. And there's only was a couple of us out there, you know? And it's one of those things to where, you know, I've already dealt with the backlash for just being an astrologer, let alone now this is just the backlash of anybody asking questions against this narrative in the media and the world. And we're just asking questions. We're not we're just seeking truth and we're seeking the best for humanity here. And that is something that is not an evil or bad or an extremist thing. Like it's a positive thing. It's a good thing. And it's something that we all should be embodying as far as that would be, I guess, my opinion. But, you know, looking at where we're at today, it can be a little crazy out there. And I remember when I was just getting made fun of all the time. And even though they were more lighter, fun shows like Jimmy Kimmel's show making fun of me and like Talk Soup and The Dish and, you know, like just typical BS, like, you know, 2010, you know, but that was the world. It wasn't social media world then. But I look at that stuff and I looked at some of those videos and I rewatched it and then being demonized on True Beauty on ABC, like just little things like Beth Stearns, which is Howard Stern's wife, just like, I can never, this picture you took, this will haunt you for the rest of your life. Most people don't even know I took that picture or even was a reality show star or don't even know my television persona for 15 years starting on MTV to get me to where I'm at today, which I then dropped that life, you know, and then somehow it came back to me as an astrologer and through using YouTube and using, you know, reality shows and kind of this weird mixture of the weird times of switching through and technology and apps that got me here. And wherever that is all going to go next, I feel like don't be afraid because trust me, as somebody who's been through every single weird cycle of this whole thing and the evolution and the changes of how to get your information out there, I go with it. And then there's moments where it feels like it's hopeless, but then it's like, no, there's a way. And it's all about whether you just keep standing in your truth. You keep standing in your love. You keep standing in your trust in God. You keep standing for humanity. You keep standing for the true liberties of being a soul. You keep standing for, you know, the injustices that are the deepest injustices first, that causes other injustices to happen. And I think the root cause of injustice today is that we are all as humans not giving the justice that we deserve when it comes to being truthful, honest, and allowing ourselves to ask questions about things that we are entirely ordained by God and ordained by our laws and ordained by, you know, our peers around the world to ask these things for humanity. And I think that don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to stand in your truth, and just know that however this all turns, the truth always wins. And they're using fear right now to have you from stepping away from that. Fear of losing your job, fear of losing your platform, fear of losing your friends, fear of being labeled. Don't be afraid of those things. I've been labeled a Satanist because some people will sometimes see, I don't even know, but it's like I have a cross and look at it is bad, or no, it's upright right now. But like sometimes it falls down and then it goes that way when I move around a lot. Or because I practice astrology, or that I'm a psychological nutcase that's probably schizophrenic from scientists, because I believe in, I don't even think astrology is a belief, because I'm guided by the stars, and that I'm guided by the ancient history, that I'm guided by Hermeticism, I'm guided by alchemy, I'm guided by looking at history itself and using where the planets were, which is how we even define time anyway, to see the reoccurrences in history. History does repeat itself, and that's because of astrology. So it's one of those things that, I'm going to keep on my road, keep doing my truth. And of course, just wanted to bring that reminder out there. And, if for some reason you don't find me out in the social media world again, for some reason, it's not because of me. It's not because of me. Or something happens to me weird, wasn't because of me. And if you check high vibe and I'm not there, it definitely wasn't me. You know what I mean? So, but if you definitely want to get me every day, and what I do every day, it's on highvibe.tv, and I'm doing the best I can. But I'm now getting to where they're literally pulling the ability for me to ask the questions, speak the astrological truth. So I just wanted to put that out there to everybody, and let you know that stand in your truth. I'm standing in mine as best as I can. I'm not perfect, but when it comes to this, when it comes to standing in my truth and speaking truth and asking questions and giving you history and giving you astrology and giving you my interpretations of the stars and using predictions over the last decade and having a really good track record, it's all coming from a good place. It's all coming from to make humanity better. It's not coming because of my own wants and desires. If anything, a lot of things I predict are the last things on the earth that I want to happen. But we are in times that bring us a lot of those things, and revolutions of change that are massively very hard to deal with when you come into them, because it completely thwarts our way of life completely. And that there's also way too much that we don't know that we have to ask more questions about. And if you're somebody who believes that everything's always just transparent and out in the open right now, especially from more of the movie that we see, like, you need to maybe just have a talk with, yourself and your soul and maybe God, and ask yourself if you really believe that, or if you really are willing to look at more of the fact and the data, and ask more questions and get more real factual information off your own questions about those things than just being told what is. I appreciate you all a lot. I'm sending you my best, and I'm thinking of you all during these very intense times, without fear, with just nothing but love. And, if I were to say anything about these situations going on right now, and the silencing of us that do this work, I have compassion for them, because I feel sorry for them that they're selling themselves out to humanity. I feel compassion. I feel sad. I don't know what else to say. I mean, of course there's frustration, but I'm not going to put anger into it, because at the end of the day, like, I have my own platform that I work my ass off and build, and it's about bringing truth, and it's not about trying to cover the voices of people. It does quite the opposite. So, who knows what's going to happen. I just know that the truth wins, and there's going to be a lot of things to finish this 2021 out of this shattered reality that might be too hard for people. And a lot of that shattered reality is just truth. And for those that have been questioning and have a wide open soul and mind for truth right now, if anything, it's still a shattered reality that people would actually finally come clean, right? So we're all going through the shattered reality. We're all making massive changes in how we're experiencing this reality and how we go through our life and how we go through our emotions and the people that we choose in our life to every corner of it, and the financial elements to things. There's a lot of questions in the air about things. So why is it bad to continue to ask more questions at this moment about certain things that might be behind the reason the bigger questions seem bigger out there about why are these big things happening, when the big questions should be the precursors to the questions that actually lead to the answers to how we're here. I love you all very much. I'll see you on the next video, and keep it real.